A baby girl was born completely white and didn't make a sound. Doctors were horrified and rushed to save her. This is the amazing story of Maisy, a miracle baby who survived against all odds. The delivery room at Waterford Regional Hospital fell silent as Dr. Sarah O'Connor lifted the newborn from Emma Vignea's womb. Instead of a pink, crying infant, the medical team was confronted with a white, motionless baby. Dr. O'Connor, a veteran of 20 years in obstetrics, felt her heart skip a beat. She had never encountered anything like this in all her years of practice. "Code Blue!" Dr. O'Connor's urgent shout filled the suddenly tense room. Nurses rushed into action as the newborn baby was taken to the special care unit. Emma, still groggy from the emergency C-section, only caught a quick glimpse of her daughter's ashen skin before the baby was taken away. In the special care unit, Dr. Michael Flynn fought to maintain his composure while examining the infant. When he gently pricked the baby's heel for a routine blood test, he became more worried. No blood appeared. As the medical team worked frantically to save the newborn's life, Emma lay in her hospital bed, unaware of the desperate struggle happening just rooms away. After what felt like forever, Dr. Flynn came to talk to her. His face showed a mix of confusion and a tiny bit of hope. "Mrs. Vignea," he said carefully, "your daughter is alive, but she's in a very serious condition. We've never seen anything like this before." Emma's heart raced as she listened to the doctor explain. Her baby, who she would later name Maisy, had been born without any blood in her body. It was as if all her blood had disappeared. The doctors were confused and trying to figure out how this could have happened and, more importantly, how to keep Maisy alive. "But how is that even possible?" Emma asked, her voice shaky. Dr. Flynn shook his head, admitting they were in new territory. "We're doing everything we can," he assured her. "But I need to be honest, her chances of survival are very small." As Emma tried to process the shocking news, the medical team quickly got to work. They began giving Maisy blood transfusions, carefully putting donor blood into her tiny body through the umbilical cord. It was a delicate process. Too much blood too quickly could harm her, but too little might not be enough to keep her alive. Hours passed. The doctors and nurses worked tirelessly, monitoring every tiny beat of her heart and every breath she took. Slowly, very slowly, a hint of pink began to show on her pale skin. While Emma was recovering from her C-section, the medical team started a series of tests to understand and solve the mystery of Maisy's condition. Dr. Flynn ordered a full blood checkup on Emma, including tests to count her blood cells, determine her blood type, and check various blood components. The results confused the medical team even more. Emma had much more blood than expected for someone who had just given birth. To investigate further, they performed a test to detect fetal hemoglobin in Emma's blood. The results were surprising. Her blood had an extremely high concentration of fetal cells, far beyond normal levels, even in cases of fetal maternal hemorrhage. Dr. O'Connor suspected a rare placental abnormality and ordered an urgent examination of the placenta. The results revealed a previously undetected tear in the placental lining, directly connecting the fetal and maternal blood supplies. Genetic testing on Emma and Maisy's blood samples confirmed the excess fetal blood cells in Emma's bloodstream. The medical team also performed advanced imaging studies, including a detailed ultrasound of Emma's uterus and surrounding tissues, looking for any anatomical abnormalities that might have contributed to this situation. As the test results came in, the doctors realized they had discovered a rare case where almost all of Maisy's blood had transferred to Emma during pregnancy through the placental tear. This discovery explained the baby's condition at birth and her mother's symptoms before delivery. Dr. O'Connor sat with Emma to explain what they had found. "We've never seen a case quite like this," she said, sounding both curious and worried. "There have been babies born with very little blood before, but never with no blood at all. Your daughter is truly one of a kind." Emma listened, her mind full of questions. How could this have happened? Was it something she did? Dr. O'Connor sensed her worry and quickly reassured her. "This wasn't your fault. Our tests have shown a rare tear in the placental lining. This created a direct connection between your blood supply and Maisy's, allowing her blood to transfer into your body during the pregnancy. It's a rare occurrence that we're still trying to understand fully." As days turned into weeks, Maisy kept fighting. She had 2 more blood transfusions and another special transfusion to help her blood clot properly. The special care unit became a second home to Emma and her husband, Mook. They spent hours and hours by Maisy's side, talking to her, singing softly, and hoping for a miracle. Their hopes weren't in vain. Against all odds, Maisy began to get better. Her vital signs became stable and she started making her own blood cells. The doctors were amazed at how strong she was. "She's a fighter," Dr. Flynn would say, sounding impressed. Finally, after 17 long days in the special care unit, Maisy was ready to go home. It was Christmas morning, a gift Emma and Mook could hardly have dreamed of just weeks earlier. As they carefully buckled their precious daughter into her car seat, Emma couldn't help but marvel at the journey they'd been through. Months passed, and Maisy continued to surprise everyone. She smiled right on time, rolled over when she was supposed to, and even said her first word, Dada, when she was just 15 weeks old. Emma and Mook celebrated each achievement, no matter how small, knowing how close they had come to losing it all. As Maisy grew, so did her personality. She was full of energy, always curious and ready to explore. Her laughter filled their home, a constant reminder of the miracle they'd been given. But still, at every checkup, Emma held her breath, waiting for bad news. Dr. Flynn, who had become a familiar face over the months, couldn't hide his amazement at Maisy's progress. "I've been a doctor for over 20 years, he told Emma during one visit, "and I've never seen anything quite like Maisy. She's changing what we thought we knew about newborn medicine." As Maisy's first birthday approached, Emma found herself thinking about the wild year they'd had. She remembered the fear and uncertainty of those first days, the sleepless nights spent watching Maisy's every breath. Now, here they were, planning a party for their happy, healthy little girl. The birthday party was a joyous event, filled with family, friends, and even some of the medical staff who had cared for Maisy in those critical early days. Dr. Flynn raised a toast to the birthday girl, his eyes a bit watery as he spoke of her incredible journey. "To Maisy," he said, "who reminds us every day that miracles do happen." As the years passed, Maisy continued to thrive. She reached all her developmental milestones, often doing better than expected. Her preschool teachers raved about how smart she was and how much enthusiasm she had. Emma and Mook watched in wonder as their little girl grew into a vibrant, curious child. One evening, as Emma tucked Maisy into bed, Maisy asked a surprising question. "Mommy, why do the doctors always look at me funny during checkups?" Emma paused, thinking about how to explain Maisy's unique start in life to a 5-year-old. She decided to tell the truth in a way a child could understand. "Well, sweetie," she began, "when you were born, you were very special. The doctors had never seen a baby like you before." Maisy's eyes widened with interest. "Really? Was I purple or green?" Emma laughed. "No, honey. You were very, very white, like a little snowflake. And you were so brave and strong that you amazed all the doctors." Maisy thought for a moment. "Is that why they always want to take my picture at the hospital?" Emma nodded, smiling at how smart her daughter was. "That's right. They want to remember how special you are." Happy with this explanation, Maisy snuggled into her covers. "I'm glad I'm special," she said sleepily, "but I'm more glad I'm just me." As Emma kissed her daughter goodnight, she felt so thankful. Maisy was indeed special, not just because of her miraculous birth, but because of the joy and love she brought into their lives. What do you think about Maisy's incredible story? Have you ever seen or experienced a medical miracle? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing true life stories that remind us of how extraordinary people can be.